We all know that Sonic Adventure is the first 3D Sonic game, no offense, Sonic Extreme. But the one thing I don't ever hear anybody talk about with this game is how good Sonic's campaign is. And I'm not talking about the story, I'm talking about the gameplay.
One thing I will be doing for this is that I will be actually playing this on the original hardware. Now, am I actually going to be, you recording footage on this? No, I'm not. I don't have a capture card for this, but you know what? I'm going to turn this bad boy on. Nothing in there. Absolutely insane work, though. Every time I do unplug it, and it just doesn't hold. I have to like reset, the time. It's 1998, bro. It's 2026. So we're gonna go ahead and pop this bad boy open. I'm gonna take this out, and then I'm gonna pop this in here. I'm just gonna act like it's 1998. So we're just going to do that and have it run its course. This is her game disc. Oh shit. What the hell's going on now, buddy? But it worked that time. It was weird. Don't really know what happened there. That was it's a little awkward. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna play this, and then I'll get back to you guys in just a bit. Get mad at me if you want for not taking the Dreamcast footage. I got this on the Dreamcast emulator, so almost the same thing. Also, you have to pardon me if I might sound a little bit off. I was sick last week. I think I'm all better, but just in case if I do sound a little weird, that's why. I love Sonic Adventure, and when I say that, I'm almost always talking about Sonic's story. Not that the rest of the stories are terrible, and disregard what I said in the opening clip, because I made that like 3 months before I even thought about typing up the script. So please keep that in mind. I really enjoyed Knuckles and Gamma's stories. Tails' story isn't bad either, but I could really care less about Amy and Big's stories. Highlight of any Sonic Adventure playthrough for me will always be Sonic's story. When starting a save file, Sonic is the only story available from the start. His story begins with him jumping from rooftop to rooftop, and, even if whatever it's worth, the game is, almost 30 years old. Spoiler warning, just for those that I guess haven't played the game. Police cars drive by, to which Sonic follows. The police are confronting a water creature, to which the quote-unquote shooting the weird creature with guns doesn't work cliche kicks in. Sonic arrives, beats the creature, and the creature escapes into a drain. Sonic stares at the drain while Eggman says from a rooftop that the being is Chaos, the god of destruction. Somehow Sonic doesn't hear him at all, even though he's like right there above him. Cut to the next day, Sonic is relaxing by the hotel pool when he catches a glimpse of Tails crashing his plane, to which he tracks down and saves him, to which afterwards Tails reveals that he has found the Chaos Emerald, and the two head to the Fox's workshop in the Mystic Ruins, where Eggman jumps them with his egg hornet, to which Sonic and Tails defeat. But Tails, for some reason, stupidly, pulls out the Chaos Emerald, allowing Eggman to steal it, and to give it to Chaos, making him change shape and become more powerful. And you can also see some bones. It's kind of creepy, when you really kind of look a little bit deeper into it. So Sonic and Tails then proceed to track down the rest of the Chaos Emeralds, managing to find 3, but lost one due to Eggman catching them off guard again. Then they come across Knuckles, who thinks Sonic is after the Master Emerald shards. The two fight, allowing Eggman to take the other 2 emeralds Sonic and Tails found and give them the Chaos. Knuckles realizes that Eggman tricked him and helps Sonic and Tails fight Chaos. The heroes win, but the villains escape at Eggman's new battleship, the Egg Carrier. Sonic and Tails give chase in the tornado while Knuckles stays behind to do his own thing. The tornado is shot down, and Sonic and Tails are separated, with Sonic landing back in Station Square, where he runs into Amy, who asks if he can protect a bird she has with her, to which he quickly declines, but Amy just follows him around. They then run into another Eggman robot dubbed Zero, but that's never stated in Sonic's story. But before Sonic can destroy it, Amy runs into Twinkle Park. Sonic gives chase, but he loses sight of her. He searches all night for her, but doesn't find her until the next morning when the robot from earlier kidnaps her and escapes back to the Mystic Ruins where the egg carrier is waiting, and the robot beams him up before Sonic can save Amy. Sonic gives chase and reunites with Tails at the top of the mountain, who arrives in his new plane, the Tornado 2, allowing them to board the egg carrier, to which they manage to find Amy and battle Gamma, who Amy convinces Sonic and Tails to spare after she tells them that he helped her. The egg carrier begins to fall out of the sky. Sonic instructs Tails to take Amy to safety while he goes after Eggman alone. He finds Eggman, battles Chaos, who now has 6 Chaos Neurons in him, and leaves the monster's fate in the hands of a then arriving Knuckles. Sonic jumps off the ship in pursuit of Eggman and lands face first in the Mystic Ruins jungle by an old temple, which is rumbling. Sonic follows the red orb into the temple, where he finds a mural before being teleported to the past, which he somewhat thinks is a dream. When he returns to the present, he catches a glimpse of Eggman heading into his nearby base. Sonic follows him, infiltrates his base, and battles Eggman one last time, defeating him once again, returns to Tails' workshop to reunite with his best friend, and the credits roll. It's not an Emmy-worthy story, I hate to break it to you, but no Sonic story is, but it's definitely better than some of the stories in later games. Sonic, Knuckles, and Gamma, in my opinion, have the best stories in the game, hands down. Can't really say that I have a definitive favorite when it comes to, the actual plot individual story-wise, but those 3 are my favorite for sure. But if I did have to pick one, I'd probably go Gamma, since it's basically an entire telling of his life from birth to death, even though the Flicky does stay alive. Hey, they killed the machine, but not the bird. The plot isn't why I love Sonic stories so much, though. Obviously, it's a part of it. For me, though, it's pretty much everything else. The stages, the gameplay, the controls, and, at least in Sonic games, I feel like this kind of goes without being stated, but the music is, like, always a major highlight of any Sonic game, except for, obviously a very few, but, this is early Sonic, so that you don't have to worry about the music here, bro. It's just crazy. Being the first 3 Sonic game means that Sonic Adventure was the game that brought upon a whole new style of Sonic gameplay, for better or for worse, depending on who you ask. The blue blur was no longer constricted to a 2D plane. He was finally free to be controlled in 8 directions. He was faster than ever and cooler than ever. There's a total of 11 stages of Sonic Adventure, and Sonic is playable in every stage in the game, except for Hot Shelter. His first stage is Emerald Coast, and I think we can all agree that this is one of the greatest opening stages, if not one of the greatest stages in Sonic history. One of the things you'll learn very quick in this game is that Sonic's Spin Dash is pretty broken. You can activate it on a dime and use it to not just gain speed, but to pull off shortcuts if you know where to use it. I don't think it was intentional, but at the beginning of Emerald Coast, when you make it past the hotel, you can circle around the boardwalk, or you can use the Spin Dash, time a jump off the incline on the boardwalk, and immediately jump to the top and skip it. It only saves you a few seconds, but there's plenty of moments like that in the Blue Blurs campaign. Of course, we could probably argue that they did do that on purpose, so that way you can sit there for a second after you come back and played it a couple of times and be like, I could probably do that. As the level progresses, you come across one of the set pieces that are littered throughout Sonic's story, this being the infamous Orca Chase. I'm not really sure what exactly Sonic did to upset these guys, but they don't like him from here on out. Just about every stage has some sort of set piece or cool moment. I'm not going in depth on every stage, but I will point out every quote-unquote set piece. As stated, Emerald Coast has the Orca Chase. Windy Valley has you getting sucked up into a tornado, navigating the debris floating inside, and jumping right out of the top of the funnel, and then just going about your business like it never happened. Xenopolis has you use Sonic as a pinball. Ice Cap has you snowboarding down the mountain, starting off with you trying to avoid an avalanche, though you don't die if you're somehow too slow to outpace it. Twinkle Park has you drive a bumper car through an obstacle course before falling down into a roller coaster. Speed Highway has you running down the skyscraper. Red Mountain and Skydeck don't really have any set pieces unless you just want to count Red Mountain where you zip line across the mountain, and Skydeck try not to get shot with a cannon. While Lost World has the Rock Chase, but Final Egg doesn't really have a set piece, though. Set pieces don't make the stages. The stages themselves are awesome. The level design perfectly complements Sonic's skill set and movement. The only real complaints I actually have with Sonic's story is that the whole Chaos 4 segment feels like a pace breaker. I always dread this part when I reach it. The fight with Knuckles is dummy easy, even though we do get the oh no meme. And the Chaos 4 fight is incredibly boring. You have to wait for him to come up above the wall in order to hit him. And keep in mind, you have to fight this boss 3 different times. 3 times. You have to fight him with Sonic. You have to fight him with Tails. You have to fight him with the Knuckles. And it's just you jumping around in the water, just waiting for him just to pop up. It's like almost 2 minutes of just sitting around. It's not fun. Following that up is Sky Chase Act 1, which I would rather do than the Chaos 4 boss fight. But it's not all that exciting. Neither is Sky Chase Act 2, though it is a little more engaging, and I actually don't mind doing that. Besides that, his story is just about perfect for me. I could talk about the music, but once again, I don't think I have to explain why it makes the experience even more enjoyable. The way Sonic controls and feels in this game, to me, is just perfect. It get a little difficult to control when going at super high speeds, but that could just be me having a skill issue. And there's not exactly a whole bunch of moments where you're going to really get in this position. Really only consistently counter at Speed Highway, but speed is in the name, and it's not a game breaker at all. I think one thing I do like about the gameplay is one of the big things about Sonic games, and it's gaining the knowledge of level layout. This was a thing for the classic games that came before, and I believe that it's made more aware here as you first play through will most likely be you sticking to the main path, while any playthrough afterwards is going to be taking any shortcut you can find until you have a set path to take. Sonic Adventure did a perfect job of this, with it being the first 3D Sonic game, as I'm not sure if I already said this, which I'm looking at the script, I already mentioned about the whole shortcut thing. Believe me, after you've played these levels a couple of times, you've kind of got a little bit of a feel on how to use Sonic Spin Dash, you're gonna be wanting to hit a lot of shortcuts, and you will find a good handful that exist over the course of a playthrough. Believe me when I tell you that. But if I'm completely honest, a good bit of my love for this game has to come from nostalgia, because hey, it's 2026, nostalgia has to play a factor in everything though. But no, all jokes aside, I first got this game at Kmart. Remember when they still existed? And I was with my parents. This was a very rare opportunity that I was actually with both of my parents. It was a part of a game compilation known as the Dreamcast Collection, which was only released for PC and the Xbox 360. And Sonic Adventure, Crazy Taxi, Space Channel 5 Part 2, great game by the way, Sega Bass Fishing. They're all great, actually. It was in the bargain bin for about 15 bucks. I only cared because it had Sonic Adventure on it, and I'd never played the game to that point in time, which was around 2012. I always watched clips of the cutscenes, but never watched anyone play the actual game before. So, in a way, I went into my first playthrough blind, and I've got plenty of core memories from that. I'll never forget taking almost an hour trying to find where Casinopolis was in Station Square. I'll never forget literally taking 15 minutes in game time to beat Twinkle Park for the first time. I loved everything about Speed Highway, and I remember finally beating the Egg Viper after being stuck on that boss for around a month. This was the game I played when I was home alone for the first time, which, funny enough, the level I booted up was Twinkle Park. Which I kind of do remember that day. I got to come home early from school because the weather was bad, which, average, springtime weather in Alabama, it's not always peaches and cream. And I remember my mom being there. She said, I guess I was going to go with her, but I managed to convince her that I wanted to be home alone, because I remember that whole day after they said that, I was looking forward. I was like, I'm going to be home alone. This actually was the first time ever. And I was gonna go play Sonic Adventure. Like I was excited about that. I was kind of upset that my mom couldn't stay, because I didn't see my mom a whole lot when I was a kid. But we're not gonna get too mushy here. We're not gonna do that here. But still managed to have a good time my first time home alone. I literally just played Sonic Adventure. One of the bigger core memories that I also have playing Sonic Adventure was every time I think or play the underground section of Red Mountain, whether that be with Sonic or Gamma, think of a spicy McChicken from McDonald's. I remember coming home one night, we went to McDonald's and got a spicy McChicken, and I booted up this level, and so now for me, the underground section inside the volcano in Red Mountain will always be synonymous with a spicy McChicken from McDonald's. It's genuinely stuff like this, like, yeah, you could just say it's just nostalgia bait, but you look back on these memories, of course, and you're so glad that they happened. Sonic Adventure is a very special game to me. It always will be. Sadly, one time I took the game to my brother's house and I forgot to bring it home with me, and I never saw it again after that. I didn't play Sonic Adventure for years till I rigged a Dreamcast emulator on my phone and managed to get the game working, to which I did a whole Let's Play on. I will tag that at the end of this. It wasn't the greatest experience, and it didn't feel the same. But I was happy to be playing the game again. I'm almost positive this is where my hatred for touch controls began. Eventually, I came across Sonic Adventure DX on the GameCube. I bought it, and then I got it again on Xbox. And just recently, as you saw in the opening of this video, I now own an actual original copy for the Dreamcast. So I went from having no Sonic Adventure to maybe too much Sonic Adventure, but I'll never consider that a bad thing. I don't even know if I even got my point across for this video, but Sonic's story and Sonic Adventure will always be the definitive go-to anything Sonic related to me. While I'm not 100% perfect, it is something. I will never, ever get tired of it or this game. Doesn't matter what stage I'm playing, but rest assured that it will definitely be a Sonic stage. I could sit here and just go on and on and on and on and on and on and on, but I'll keep my gushing down to just this video right here. I always say that my favorite Sonic game is Sonic Unleashed. There's no doubt about that. If Sonic Adventure was genuinely just Sonic's story, it would be my favorite game of all time, and it realistically wouldn't even be close. It's that good to me. It is that good to me, and I will always defend Sonic's gameplay in Sonic Adventure until the day I die. I love this game. I love the Sonic gameplay so much in this game. And it just has such a special place in my heart, and it always will. So, alright, well, that's a second video essay I did. I know some of these have kind of just been a little bit of jumbled messes, but I'm having fun. This one was kind of more of a passion, of a rant, I guess you could say. Still scripted, though. I did throw a little bit more in there compared to the Sonic Riders video I made a couple of months ago. Yeah, I know this one took a couple of months. I was kind of lazy on this one, so I apologize for that. I want to try to get these out a little bit of a quicker pace. I do have another video. It's like a, not really a video essay, but it's just kind of another project I want to do on the side. So hopefully I'll have that one coming up pretty soon too, after I get this one going. But yeah. If you guys like the video, hit the like button. I really would appreciate it. Subscribe, hit the bell, try to keep an eye out for any time I do post. And I will catch you guys in another video. So until then, take it easy, and I'll catch you later. Peace.